Welcome to Travel with Sean. I'm Sean, and in this episode, we're exploring the different types of food on the island of Madeira. So come along and see what there is to eat. Even though Madeira is part of Portugal, it is different from Portugal in many aspects. Food is one way in which it is unique. Many traditional Madeira dishes cannot be found on mainland Portugal. A couple of common starters on Madeira are fish soup and fried calamari. Another popular appetizer is mussels called lapas, or limpets as they're called in English. They look kind of like clams but are chewier. They are typically served with bolo do caco, the traditional Madeira garlic bread. It's very soft and tasty without a strong garlic taste. Another dish is espada, which is black scabbardfish. It is grilled with caramelized banana and covered with passion fruit sauce. This is a Madeira specialty because the black scabbardfish is only found in this part of the Atlantic. Another way of preparing espada is to grill it with mixed seafood. But the espada dish with banana is the most traditional. Espada is a very tender fish and flaky, and the banana really enhances the flavor. I also tried a dish called espatada, which is skewered beef. I've never seen beef served this way anywhere else. The beef is seasoned with garlic salt and local herbs and cooked to perfection. It was very juicy and absolutely delicious. A couple of desserts we enjoyed were Portuguese pudding and Portuguese cheesecake. When you check into your hotel on Madeira, they'll offer you a free glass of Madeira wine. Madeira wine was so popular in the US in the 18th century that it is reported to have represented over 75% of the imported wine. There are 4 different classifications of Madeira wine: dry, semi-dry, semi-sweet, and sweet. Dry and semi-dry Madeira can be served during the meal, but the sweet and semi-sweet are served after the meal and are typically referred to as dessert wines. While on the island, we visited a quinta, which is what the Portuguese call a vineyard. This was a very interesting visit, learning about Madeira wine and how they grow their grapes. This vineyard is 100% organic. They only spray the leaves of the grapevines before the grapes begin growing. They use sheep to clean out the weeds and grass. The sheep fertilize the ground with their bodily waste, avoiding the use of chemical fertilizer and herbicides. They have to move the sheep when an area has grapes on the vines because the sheep will eat the grapes, the leaves, and everything. They do bring them back after the harvest. Since Madeira is a mountainous island, flat land is very scarce, so they have to plant uphill and use a tiered gardening system with retaining walls at each tier. The vineyard does have an artificial irrigation system for dry years, but they hardly need to use it because of the plentiful rainfall they get. The retaining walls serve 3 purposes. Each tier of the hill is flattened out for growing, so the retaining wall helps the farmer maintain the shape of their tiers and prevent erosion. They also help retain moisture while sharing excess moisture with each lower tier. Runoff from the lowest tier goes into the ancient irrigation canals called levadas that crisscross the island. Because these walls are made from volcanic rock, They heat up in sunshine and retain the heat in that segment of the soil. Grapes are grown both vertically and horizontally. The vertical method, called Espetada, receives more sunshine, and so the grapes are sweeter. The drawback is that the vines produce fewer grapes. With the horizontal method, called limpets, the grapes are grown on top of a trellis. Growing this way, the grapes hang below the leaves of the vine and therefore receive less sunshine, so they tend to be drier. But this method produces more grapes. This also enhances the productivity of the land by allowing the farmer to grow crops under the grapes. Also, when the limpets are high enough, the sheep can pass under them. And sometimes, just sometimes, the people pass under the limpets also. If you're a beer drinker and prefer beer over wine, then on Madeira you can't go wrong with Coral, which is the local beer. While I certainly enjoyed checking out the many restaurants on Madeira, the big bonus was making a new friend at one of them. I would have loved to bring her home with me, but I'm afraid she would have missed her feathered friend too much. Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe down below. Then you can be alerted of future episodes of Travel with Sean. Thanks again.